In a report to the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development, city officials asserted that on any given night in 2017, 2,669 people experienced homelessness in Baltimore City. The reason for homelessness is poverty. Nearly half of residents live below 200% of the federal poverty line, and housing is expensive. Nearly half of renters spend 35% or more of their income on rent. Women and children are the fastest growing homeless population in Baltimore.
I ended up in a homeless situation. I didn't have enough stability. I wasn't secure as far as I needed to be financially. So I'd lost my job and I didn't have any money for me to sustain and be able to move into a new house.
When I had got evicted from my place, I didn't have nobody to turn to. I didn't have nowhere to go. I ended up having my son go with his dad for like a week or so until I figured something out. I just slept in my car for a week, just trying to call around.
The first 2 shelters, it wasn't successful. The third one, we called and, good afternoon, BOS, how can I help you? Linda speaking.
For 20 years, Baltimore Outreach Services, or BOS, has been providing shelter and other services to women and their children at Christ Lutheran Church.
BOS started way back in the 90s as a soup kitchen and became over the years an emergency shelter for men. And then the founding executive director, Karen Adkins, had the vision and foresight to actually develop the undercroft of the sanctuary into a shelter for families.
My son, he was just happy it was a whole bunch of kids he could play with. You know, I think he didn't really understand the extent of the situation. I didn't try to, be down about it. I'm just like, we're gonna get out of here. This is only temporary. But he enjoyed playing with all the kids there, so it was just like a big family to him.
It wasn't until the next couple of days when I woke up that I realized that I had a safe and secure place for me and the boys, and I realized that I could grow.
First, we need to provide short-term, immediate safety and security for the women and their children. That means we need to give them a place to be off the streets. They need to have 3 meals a day and snacks for the kids, and they need to feel safe and secure and know that they have a bed that is theirs. Over the long haul, if we're going to look at ending homelessness in Baltimore, we need to equip those women in particular with the skills and the attributes, with the case management services, with the job training, with the job development skills, all of those wraparound supportive services to help them move forward on a path to stability.
So from day one, the first thing that happens when a new family comes is that a comprehensive intake is done. And that's where we have an opportunity to learn all about the mom and her children. We learn about her history. What is her education? Does she have a history of substance abuse, criminal behavior? Has she been evicted? We really look at and serve the whole woman and the whole family. We have a variety of programs that the ladies can take advantage of while they're here, in addition to programs for the children.
They have a psychologist from Johns Hopkins that comes every Wednesday and does a mindfulness group that focuses on their parenting skills, on conflict resolution skills, and on finding the place inside of them which brings them peace.
We have an after-school program every day, 4 to 6 p.m., taught by Ms. Sherry, a certified Baltimore City Public Schools teacher.
BOS also offers an 8-week intensive culinary arts class that prepares those who take the class in the food service and hospitality industries.
I enjoy being a part of these wonderful women's lives. I enjoy being able to share my knowledge with them. I enjoy the fact that many of them take the knowledge and just run with it and go for it, because there's so many parts of culinary. It's just not the restaurant industry, right? There's so many different parts of culinary that they can go ahead and express themselves in.
Our goal is, when the women and children come into the shelter, is to first meet their basic need, which is shelter, emergency shelter, food, clothing, then to make them feel safe and warm and comfortable. Then we move on to the next level of making sure that they feel a sense of worth, accomplishment, and achievement through the programs and services.
Women and children can stay at the shelter until they find permanent housing. The average stay is 3 months. The case manager works with them and makes sure they have all the resources and supplies they need.
When I left Baltimore Outreach Services, Miss Kathy told me that they have a transitional home that they can move me into, and that's where I'm at now. And the house was completely furnished. They had the sofa, the living room, the beds. All I had to do was come in. I've been here for about 3.5 years, but I am about to move into a low-income place.
Decelia moved into this apartment 7 years ago. She said that Boss has made a tremendous difference in her and her son's lives.
I'm way more stable, I'm happier, I'm confident, I'm strong. I'm just all around a way better human being. I've been employed at her Horseshoe Casino as a croupier, also known as a table game dealer, for the last 7 years. And I decided to get back into my education. I'm now at the University of Baltimore, and I'm getting ready to go into their law program, start August the 1st.
And each success story isn't just because one mom is no longer homeless, or one mom is now working, or one mom has now bought a home, or one mom is now in college or in law school. But every one of those success stories means that's a family down the road that we've changed, right? That there is a multi-generational change happening. And so in that sense, for that family and their future generations, we did help end homelessness in Baltimore.
BOSS receives support from the community, from corporations to foundations to individuals to groups to local churches to fundraisers. It's just a vast array of support that we get. Corporate support is very important to the work that's done at Baltimore Outreach Services. We could not do it successfully without corporate support. And one of those corporations that support us immensely is Northrop Grumman.
What BOSS does with the individual plans for the women and the support services that they provide to them and their children is just an amazing, amazing program that they have, and it is one that we feel is very necessary.
Employees of Northrop Grumman came out to BOSS to help the children plant seedlings for Mother's Day gifts.
But in addition to just that impact of giving back and helping the organization and the individuals, it also is more for the employees. It gives them an opportunity to feel more connected to the company.
BOSS is celebrating 20 years serving the women and children in Baltimore, and they say they could not have done any of this without the support of Christ Lutheran Church.
Christ Church members have that commitment to BOSS because it's in their heart. That's how they feel about the ministry. The ministry started as a part of the church, and so the church members have a vested interest in seeing that it's successful.
I see this is as part of our discipleship. So as a disciples, we love God and love our neighbors, and we try to live out that. Going forward, we want to remain a place of hope, a place of love, a place of welcome.
Baltimore Outreach Services has been around for 20 years because there's been need for 20 years. There's been need for a lot of years before that. There will be need into the future.
I've often thought about where the road would have led me if I didn't come to the BOSS program. I probably wouldn't have been as stable as I am because that's why BOS provided stability, and we all need stability in order for us to grow.
I can't imagine my life without BOSS. I mean, they have been in my life since I was 21 years old, so I can't imagine without it. Like it was a part of me.